Hi, in this video we learn more about WSDL of a web services. So before going ahead, this will see the prerequisite what we need for achieving this. So first of all, we need one operating system, either Windows, any Windows, or likewise Windows system. Other than that, we need a JDK install in your system, which is higher than 106, Java 106. And after that, we need a Eclipse editor and SOAP UI. So I have installed that JDK, Eclipse and SOAP UI in my system, and for all three you can go through that my other video or tutorial. Now I'm going to explain one by one what we need. So first we need one web service or any endpoint URL which once I have the WSDL details, then only we'll see that what is the WSDL, what is the purpose of it, and further request response and all. So first, if you'll see that my earlier tutorial, you can find it from my website www.tutorialbyexample.com, and just search over here like in web services. So you'll be able to see that this standard alone web services using JDK 106 WSDL utility of a JAX web services. So I'm just recapping it. So in this tutorial we have just created one service, math service class, which ones I have a two method, add and subtract, sub, and I'm passing two parameter and returning as a double response. So this is nothing but one service I have already written in my earlier tutorial or video, and for this I have generated that supporting JAX WS classes, and there is a WSDL and XXD is also generated with help of that. So for this we'll go ahead one by one. Either we can go directly with that XXD and a schema, or we can run it. We'll see that in live. So for running it, I have to just publish this web services. I'll just right click and run as a Java application. So now service is already published with help of this URL. I'll just copy, go to any browser. I'll close that earlier one. I'll open the browser, I'll paste over here and click it. Wow, now I'm able to see that web services. So for this I have to see the WSDL. So now you see that wow, WSDL is also coming. We'll see they are supporting XXD file, which is nothing but another schema. It's embedded in that the WSDL. Okay, this is also working perfect. Now we'll see there what is that WSDL and their respective one by one tag and all. So before going ahead, we'll see. So WSDL is nothing but a web service definition language. This is the kind of a language which is written in type of likewise in XML, and that will be we can say that we have in Java is platform language, independent language, whereas in XML we can say that also a platform independent language. That if that XML file will be there, then even the applications as well. So there is nothing is required to change that in like one applications to another applications. Then only the web services come in the picture for integrations point of view. Suppose I am running that, for example, I am running one application in Java. I want to communicate with a .NET. There is a only one way we have a way to go ahead with either data services, writing the procedures and functions connecting with one data to another data, that is nothing but a data services. If you want to consume the directly application service, then that will be not possible without a web services. So for these or some few like a URL and toll request HTTP client and all is there, but that will be not work as expected what we can achieve by web services. Anyhow, that's another topic. So we'll discuss more about web services definition language. What is this? So web services descriptions language have the information about that input parameter, their service, their input parameter, output parameter, and locations of a service, including the port type and binding. And web services definition language is a standard definitions language which is already defined in HTTP www.w3.org, TR and WSDL. So all specifications and definitions you can find over there. This is the common language we have in WSDL they have defined it, and we are going to use that and accordingly. Now an XML based language for describing web services. So WSDL is nothing but an XML based language for describing the web services, what the service does, descriptions, how to use it, method signature, and where to find the service likewise. And you can go ahead with more details about all definitions in from here my website, and every element is also there with some different example, but we'll see in live. I'll explain in one by one. So first of all, we'll see that our service, what we have written in our Java code. So in Java code we have written that the service, math service, which ones have that through method. One is add, second one is a subtract. So we have a two method. The method of parameter return type is a double. We are returning the data type as a double, and we are getting the request parameter as a as a double and B as a double. So same parameter we are using for subtracts as well, but the name of a service we are using the math service, and it this is nothing but a target namespace. We'll see in a WSDL where that is, and with help of this target namespace only, that service will be available and the both method. So we understand that our service class now. With help of this service, we'll see further details in XXD and WSDL. So before going to WSDL, we have to understand the XXD first. This is nothing but a schema type, and over here we only define that the name of a method, name of a parameter, and their respective data type. So the first element, it will be a start. This is nothing but first one is a comment, that is a published by XYZ something 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 blah blah. So the name of a, this is nothing but access. So access we see that what is nothing but there is a reference of a schema, and it will identify access. And after that we are putting, what is that? This is nothing but a math service, where we have put that at TNS name. If you'll see in this one's target namespace, so this TNS target namespace, that is a name of a space. You'll find that if you take over your mouse, you'll see that what is this and what is the purpose of this, and that will be identify that math service. Now our TNS name target namespace is this one. What is that? The schema we are going to use the W3.org, the schema version 2001 something like that, and version 1.0 sorry. The target namespace again it's repeating, okay, in the same because the target namespace we are referring from service. This is nothing but abbreviations for that. I'm sorry for that. XML namespace is equal to TNS. This is nothing but target actual. So this is nothing but a actual one, and but we are referring with help of a TNS name. Will TNS name schema will see that in WSDL. It will this name will be referred in a WSDL. We'll see in later time. Now we have a 4 element request parameter, if you'll see, and request response. One, we have a add, for TNS we need a add response. For substacks we need a substacks response. Suppose doing anything for add method, what we need for their return type, what we need for substacks, and what is required for sub response. So again it will be described. This is nothing but element we identify. Now we are going to now by default it will be created as a complex type. So we have a two type over here, like one is a simple type, second one is a complex type. So if there is anything which ones have a multiple, it will consider in complex type. Otherwise we can take a simple type as, but if you generate from tool, it will consider as a complex type for all. And name, the name of a method, and sequence, how many iterations you want to go ahead with that. Because it's a complex type, then we have to use that a sequence. If there is a simple, then not required. Then access element name A, the name type access, which XML schema data type will be a double. So in Java we will have a double data type, in XML access double data type will be there, and in other language they have a like their if double will be there, that's fine. Otherwise they will map from that a double to the other data type. So this is a data type from XML, or that will be a schema, XML schema standard, and the data type will be there. But in Java we have a double data type, but in over here it will converting to access double. Similarly we have for add response, like a return, that is a double. For a sub method for A and B we have a double data type and their complexity, and sub response we have return data. This is nothing but a XXD file we are going to embed in a WSDL. So now we define that our method and their parameter and return type with a respective data type of a web services. Now we'll see in WSDL. In WSDL, first element we have a definitions. So in definition, under definitions we have XML web services URI and all those things. If you'll see that there is one TNS name will be there, target namespace. So target namespace nothing but our service name, our XML namespace nothing but over here it will be referring, if you'll see that. And there is a XXD, whatever XXD schema we are following, that again if you'll see the XXD schema we are following, so it's referring entire. Now we have a target namespace, name of the service is math service. So this is nothing but math service will see in a generated file. So in generated file, once we will generate, then it will become like math service, or we can change that name if required accordingly. Now the first element is nothing but a container where we can place that all reference for like their namespace, target namespace, their standard and all. Now the second element of after the definitions we have a type. Which type we are going to use. There is we have a simple type, if there is a complex type. So now we have considered everything is a complex, and we have already defined in that one of that XXD file, which is nothing but a math service. Now we are referring that XXD is equal to 1. With help of that or this schema will be read and it will be embedded inside. Because if you'll see that if I just copy and paste, I just did that a paste over here, or internally that XXD file is embedded inside with help of this URL, like a schema locations, and namespace of that schema, it's referring from math service. Now after then this the types element import, we can put that in whatever. If there is a multiple XXD file, we can embed it over here with a multiple import. after this import we have a message. Which kinds of a message we have? So message will be also multiple. It's depend on request response parameter. So we for message element we have how many? 4 elements is there. Then we have a four message over here. One for message for add. Part name is equal to parameters, element is equal to TNS add. If you see in add what we have, complex type name is equal to add, and what types of a then it's referring that a message name is equal to add, part name parameter, element TNS add. So TNS add is nothing but the complex type, this TNS, and it's referring from this one. After that, if you'll see for add response, the parameter TNS add response, and accordingly we have a for subtext parameter element and then subtext response. After that, so it's all depend on that your request response parameter message element will be generated accordingly, or we have to write. Say the third or fourth. After that we have a port type. So port type is nothing but actual service, name of the service, and how many operations we have. So operations in a WSDL, it will be directly mapped with your name of a method in a Java class. So we have a two method, like one is a add, one is a subtext. So this is already published. Whatever method published, that will be only available. This is the constructor and it's not published, so it will be not available. So as of now we have published two method and it's nature of a public. Then there is a two operations is generated. One operation is for add and second operations for subtext. So in operations, nothing but it will be treated as a method, whatever input parameter is there and whatever output parameter is there. So in input parameter, what we have, for add we have a TNS add. So it's referring from TNS add over here, and TNS add, if I'll search, so TNS add is a TNS add. It's referring from input parameter with a message. It's just mapping whatever the request parameter is there, and according to that their input parameter, and same thing before output parameter is nothing but return of your method. Similarly, we have for sub method as well, like input parameter and output parameter. So now input type we got that a name of a service. In operations we map with a method name and the name of a method and their input parameter and output parameter. After that we have a binding. So binding is nothing but the name of a service and the operations with which operations we are going to bind with a particular service. And in binding also show that which type or protocol or transport we are going to use. So in binding, as of now it's saying that transport protocol is nothing but a HTTP. If you use that other protocol, then we have to define. And one another element we have a style. So in a style we can use that a document style and RPC style. We can see that in later sections. As of now this is generated in a document style, and with a style we have like literal or encoded. We can use usability. How we are going to use that in document style? In document style we can use that a literal, or we can use that a encoded. In RPC style, remote procedure call style, you can use that a literal or like encoded. So we have a two style with a mapping with a two usability, like a literal or encoded. So after that we have like operations name is equal to add, then it's a mapping with input parameter and output parameter, and their usability we are just going to use for a literal. So it's just mapping with a style with the protocol binding with that method and their usability. Similarly we have for a subtext method as well, sub method as well. Now after that last element nothing but a service, that is nothing but a name of your service and it will bind with a port. So port, already we have port type already defined, so whatever like a math service port is there. So with help of this is nothing but name of that service, name of a port, and then just we are referring that a TNS math service binding. So this is nothing but our binding name. If you'll see math service port binding, so it's referring from here to here. And after that we are just mapping that one endpoint address or URL, which is nothing but whatever we are going to access over here. So if you mention something other than that, after publishing this web services, we have to use this address locations, or we can use that actual as well. So if you'll see all the way up, all elements is correlated with each other. So I'm just saying these ones, just remove that TNS name, because this is nothing but target namespace. So services map with a binding. Now if you'll see that a binding will be mapped with port type, just remove that from everywhere. We have to just remove the TNS name. Okay, you'll see that in until up. See, now math service, we got that a math service. Then binding, we got that a map with a service, we map with a port binding, name of a binding. After that binding, we map with a port type, TNS port type. And again if you go through that like input output message, it's like mapping with a TNS add and TNS response. So this is nothing. If you go from bottom to up, all is related to each other, and we can easily identify by with help of our service class. This is that how we generate that like a WSDL. Now I'll do one thing, I'll change that as something in this ones, and we'll see how it will be behaving, how our WSDL will changing. Okay, I just added MUL, M multiply, which is A multiply B. Now our service is okay. For this I have to generate that okay, again. So if I'll add that this method in general, so what will be happen? Two more message. First in the type section, one more element to two more elements will be created. One, this one, like one for MU response, and there is one more sections will be added over here. In WSDL there is two more one more message will be there, two more messages will be there, one for multiply or response. In operations there is one more port type, one more operations will be there with add, subtract and multiply. And in binding there is one more operations will be created with input output, document style and encoding, and the service will be remaining same because we are using that only one service, so there is no changes. So that will be that is all about for this. Now have a small constant for doing this. So we'll publish this service once again, and we'll see WSDL, and we'll hit that one request response. Now service is published. We'll get that a SOAP URL, SOAP UI. We'll close that earlier project. Oh no, I don't want to save. Remove. No. Okay, so for this we need a WSDL location. I'll go to file, create SOAP new project. We'll add that endpoint URL. We'll click OK. Add response created. Now we'll see this is nothing but request. We are getting 1 and plus 2. This is SOAP request. We'll press that. execute button, then now we are getting that. So this is nothing but SOAP envelope. After that, generating the XM WSDL, we have published the WSDL. We got the 10-point URL. We created new project in SOAP UI. We got that SOAP envelope. So SOAP envelope is nothing but just a form of we can say that we are just sending the letter. So for getting the request response, we have a terminology known as a SOAP request and response in terms of a envelope. So in SOAP, we'll see that in later sections. This is all about how the WSDL it will be. And if you have any doubt, concerns, questions, please put on that my website www.tutorialbyexample.com. I'm going to share that in video in this video section, and you can put that in YouTube as well. And please like and share it, and don't forget to subscribe.